This is the agenda, why to upgrade to Make, how to upgrade to Make, and the supporting tools, and then it all depends on the question and answers at the end of the session. So first, why to upgrade? So I don't have to tell you all about capabilities on Make. We have communicated this quite often, but in short, Make is built on new architecture on the AWS. There are new plans, including the team plan and team roles, which a lot of you were seeking out. Then there is parallel webhook execution with a single scenario. Search scenario execution history. This one is particularly helpful for a lot of you guys. And full API, new forms interface, which is in the visual change over there. There's updated data store interface, so much better than the one on the Integromat. And lastly, legacy plan that a lot of you are asking about. The legacy plan means you'll get the exact same price for the exact same price, same or better plan. And it counts even if it is discounted. So if you were originally paying, and I'll take the lower tier $9, and you got discount through some of our events to $7, you will continually pay $7 on Make and getting the same benefit. Aside from those that we communicated during the launch, there are also a lot of things as we are not slacking off and put continuous effort in some of the new features. So there are custom variables, system variables, scenario inputs, on-demand scheduling, then running scenarios via API, and as well as accessing webhook logs that was highly anticipated. So all of those are relatively big ones, and we are also preparing a lot of new interesting features on the roadmap. If you want to know more about those, you can simply go to our website, and there is upgrade to Make at the footer to learn more about each and individual features that we launched. Aside from that, we have also decreased some of the functionalities on Integromat. At the moment, those ones are not major. There have been just 3 changes. First one is creating new organizations on Integromat. This is no longer supported. Creating custom apps on Integromat. So new custom apps could be only created on Make, as well as we no longer ship new apps and update of the modules on Integromat anymore. All of those will be working and remaining the same on Make. Lastly, we have been continuously communicating that we will discontinue support in 2023. The date is unknown yet. You will have sufficient time before this happens, but we don't know the date yet at this very moment. How to upgrade? So for majority of you guys, there are 2 ways to upgrade to Make, but most of you fall within the fast track. Over 70% of our paying organizations go through fast track, and the very big majority of the free organizations, almost all of them go through fast track. Fast track happens like this with a snap of a finger, super fast, smooth, and easy. But there are some organizations that go through the standard upgrade with the migration tool. You will go through standard upgrade only if you don't meet certain criteria. One, a webhook is used, a same webhook is used in more than one scenario. So that can happen when you're duplicating one scenario and you duplicate the same, and it uses the same webhook. So that's one where you might encounter going through the standard upgrade. Second one is when you're using some of the custom apps that have not been published on Make because the owner created them and haven't moved them to Make just yet. And lastly, which is a very small percentage of you, and those are the organizations that use mobile device. There is a question, is it possible to get rid of multiple used webhooks in order to be eligible for fast track? I'll show you in just a couple of minutes. So let's start with the fast track. What happens and what can you expect? So first of all, you go to our registration page, very simple and easy. You type in your email address that you use on Integromat. This way, we can recognize you and know, oh, you have an account on Integromat. So you'll sign in. We'll ask for the verification, validation through the Integromat page, and then your make user account is created at that very point. Your organizations are not yet, but you already now have an account on Make, and you can log in with the same details you signed in on Integromat. With that, you will see something like this. We call this an upgrade hub. It shows all of the organizations that you need to upgrade or are in the process of upgrade. When you upgrade all of them, you will no longer see this page because it will be then obsolete. So I clicked on creating a Make organization on, let's say, mixed panel testing organization. Something like this will show, and it will ask you things. Since we are now on AWS, which region or which zone do I want to use? At the moment, we have the US one and EU one, and so we are in Czech Republic, so we are in EU. I would choose EU, but some other people might have US closer, so it's better for them to choose US. So with that, you click on Begin Upgrade, and you are over here. It was very simple, and that's the fast track. Begin upgrade, and within this matter of the seconds, you'll be on Make. I hope that was clear. This is the fast track upgrade. You have very little options at the beginning just to choose, and everything will move inside of you. So scenarios, data store, connections, everything is working on Make, and Integromat is at this very point on a view only. I was mentioning that there are two ways. There's most of you who are eligible for the fast track, but now let's get to those that are not on the fast track. Again, as a reminder, how you are not eligible for fast track is if you have duplicate webhooks, you're using custom apps, or if you use a mobile device. Back to standard upgrade. I told you all about the upgrade hub. Over here, you'll see the organizations that needs to be upgraded. I have a couple over here, and of course I can scroll down even more. So there's a bunch of them down there. So first problem that we might encounter would be webhook collision. This is mainly because of parallel processing of webhooks that a lot of our users wanted, and we listened to them. Therefore, a very small percentage that used duplicate webhooks or the same webhooks for more scenarios will need to change this. So after the upgrade hub, I'll just click, for example, continue upgrading or create Make organization. There will be this kind of screen. It will tell me that there is a collision detected. As you can see, I have created two scenarios, very simple one, actually one module, but it was a duplicate. So it tell me all of the collisions that are there, and I can simply click open. It will direct me to the scenario, and I can change that. After that, you'll see scenarios, and over here you'll have an overview of scenarios that are ready to migrate, and then those that are not migratable, and usually because of duplicate webhooks. And most of you don't have any over here, but if you do, you can see them over here. So you don't need to check before, you can just start the whole process. And over here at scenarios, we will tell you which of them you can move and which of them you need to change or adjust. Then you click fast migration, and you might encounter second thing, and those are custom apps. So some of the custom apps the owners have already migrated to Make. That's awesome. We encourage them in the beginning to migrate those, and they're on Make, and your life is okay. Then if you yourself are a developer of your custom app, then over there, you'll just click migrate and install, and it will done all the work for you. Then a very small segment are the owners of custom apps that created a custom app, you are using it, but they haven't moved this app to Make. Then we, or all of us, need to urge those to move the custom app to Make. You can see it over here. Again, section migrating custom apps. There are warnings. Those are just some test ones. And app is not available. Please contact the app owner. So if he sent you an invite link to those, you'll need to tell him, hey, move to Make. So my scenario using your custom app can be working on Make as well. Lastly, this one is probably the simplest, is migrating mobile device. So you can see my mobile device here, and it will just give me a selection. Hey, create a new mockup device on Make. I'll click that, click next, and then I'll see my dev device on Make, and I'll just substitute this one. You can see even in which scenario it is used. So it's relatively simple, and creating mock device and then replacing it. After all of that, usually the webhooks, you'll see this screen. You click Start Migration. This can take a short while, a longer while, but it really depends on how many scenarios you are running. We just had an organization earlier this morning with more than 700 scenarios, and they went, I think, under 6 minutes. So if you have like, I don't know, 10, maybe under 100, it will probably take less than 1 minute to move to Make. Then you'll see migration completed. Everything was successful, and you'll go to Make and see a screen welcome to Make. Fully upgraded to Make, what does it mean? It means that any migration process is completed, be it fast track or standard upgrade. All scenarios in Integromat are inactive. So just to be a bit transparent over there, the second it turns on Make, it turns off on Integromat. So there is no duplication or any problems over there. And lastly, all scenarios in Integromat that have been run in the last 90 days have been migrated. So ideally, you want to move everything to Make. Even if you want to delete some of the scenarios, it's better to move everything to Make very quickly and easily, and then delete those scenarios if you want to do some sort of digital detox or a declutter. Once that is completed, your organization will be marked as fully upgraded. We will no longer send you any communication to upgrade anymore, and you are just ready to work and roll on Make. There were a couple of questions regarding what if something goes wrong? If something goes wrong during the process, then everything will be working on Integromat. since I said there is a transition to make. So we are very aware of the scenarios being business critical. So if anything goes wrong, which it doesn't, then everything will be running the same way as it did in the past on Integromat. One more thing, if you are on standard upgrade, you can choose to, let's say, hey, let's migrate 10, 15 scenarios. You can do that and go to those that you are unready to migrate, for example, for tomorrow, for next week, for later, and you'll have both of the plans and platforms running. Of course, you don't want to have 10 scenarios on Integromat and 10 scenarios on Make, and probably use just one platform for a simpler management, but you can take time if you are in the standard upgrade. There have been some questions regarding extra operations. So once you complete and you fully complete your upgrade, you will then receive coupon codes for extra operations in Make that you can use. A new thing that came up with Make is that extra operations are only valid for the current billing cycle. This means that the coupons will allow you to have flexibility to utilize whenever you want in a desired month. So, for example, if I have a seasonable business and maybe work during winters, then that's the time when I would use those coupons. Again, there are a lot of supporting tools that can help you. So first one is the Upgrade Hub, which is the first thing you will see after logging in to Make. So every time you log in to Make, you'll see all of your organizations that you need to complete upgrade. So very simple. You can also access it on make.com /en/upgrade/hub. But the simple way is just to go to Make and log in. Second thing is if you directly want to go to the migration tool, which is for the standard upgrade, you can go to migrate.make.com. And lastly is our documentation where it's all fully explained in upgrading to Make. Again, make.com /en/help. Maybe even that without home should work. You can also navigate through our homepage. And yeah, I hope I covered most of it. I said 20 minutes, but there have been some questions which I want to address. Of course, we can engage in conversation even after this. So what about my pricing? Your pricing stays the same as on Integromat, be it if you pay, I don't know, $2.99 for Platinum plan or even $9. And even if you have discounts, you will get the same price even over there. You'll get, of course, the legacy plan, which is in most terms equivalent to Integromat plan, but in some of the metrics even better. Do you need to prepare before the upgrade? And again, there were a lot of questions. I clustered them based on the theme. So so you get why I chose those particular questions. Do we need to prepare before the upgrade? So if you don't have duplicate webhooks, you don't need any preparation. You can just go to upgrade, go to Make, register with the same email as you use on Integromat. And that's basically it. We even tell you which scenarios you can migrate and which ones are not migratable. Or in Fast Track, you just go like this. Will webhooks change and workflows needs to be updated? No, there were a couple of questions regarding webhooks. No changes on the webhooks unless you have duplicate that I have been mentioning. Will I be able to purchase extra operations? Yes, you will, of course. This stays. And we are currently considering also auto purchasing of extra operations as an option for our customers. What if something goes wrong during process? So I get this notion quite a lot. But if something really goes wrong, everything will be working as on Integromat. If everything is successful, then it switches to make and turns off on Integromat. There has been no cases where it would affect any of our customers. Are there going to be duplication and I don't know what the author meant, but probably duplication of scenarios and maybe reconnections. Everything will be done for you. So there doesn't, yeah, you don't need to worry about those. With that, awesome. There are a couple of questions. Are there support response targets for hours for issues that arise during the transition? Are there more support resources dedicated to make? I would say the targets can take some time. There are obviously SLAs for this, depending on plan and everything. But if you particularly have a question, you can contact me. I'll provide my email over here in the chat, and we can have a look into it. If we are on legacy plan, what features do we have in comparison to Core, Pro, or Teams plan? It's exactly the same as a Core plan. So, and it only varies if you had some special plan on Integromat, it will be Core plus those extra things that you had on Integromat. So legacy in simple terms means Core. Okay, keep the questions coming to Slido. I'll try to go through the chat as well and try to answer those. Is it possible to get rid of multiple used webhooks in order to be eligible for fast track? Yes, of course, that is possible. If you have old models, haven't upgraded in your, can you still use fast track? I believe yes, can still use fast track. Do you already now have a better situation on how to manage the current scenarios using the same webhook? Do you already now have a better solution? Better, it's a little bit hard with this. A better solution than what? Yeah, you can probably contact me on the email or maybe explain further in the chat over here. Also, when does your Integromat organization turn off during fast track? After everything's successfully completed. When we upgrade, does Integromat still work in case scenarios are not working on make? If you upgrade fully and completely, which means all scenarios, then Integromat will go to view only mode. If you move just a couple of them, I mentioned the 10 and 10, then Integromat will still be running and you can still work on those. To be honest, there hasn't been a single case where this wouldn't work. During migration, is Integromat still processing scenarios if data coming onto webhooks? What happens if you want to migrate scenarios that haven't been run? So those are two questions. During migration, is Integromat still processing scenarios if data is coming into webhooks? Yes. What happens if you want to migrate scenarios that haven't been run in last 90 days? What happens? We'll just move them to make. Simple. Nothing happens. They'll just be migrated from Integromat to make, but they'll most likely, if they're deactivated on Integromat, they will also be deactivated on make. Do the exact same webhook URLs used in Integromat still work in make? Yes, the first one, or we have to implement new URLs applications using webhooks. So the first one, it will still work. Are there particular days and times we should plan to migrate for the best support responsiveness? I think the best time, so we now have our support working 24/7, but the majority is during working days. That's the split. I would choose any working day to do this. If you have less business, maybe on Fridays, which is quite favored with a lot of people, they do it over there. But the distribution is quite equal throughout the week. If I understand correctly, even after we create the make account, we can find out which scenarios don't have problem and which scenarios have problem before we choose to migrate, correct? Correct. That is true. But that's for, yeah, that's true. Oh, my email address didn't show in the chat, so it's v.nguyen@make.com. I think you'll get a follow-up email, and it might be mentioned over there as well. On make.com pricing page, it mentions that the extra operations expire at the end of the month. It's not end of the month, but billing cycle. Would this be the case if I switch from Integromat and had extra operations still available? For example, I have 100,000 operations on top of my monthly amount on Integromat, will these be honored for life if I migrate to Make, or will they expire at the end of month one on Make? So just to be clear, if you have 100,000 operations in extra operations, you will get 10 coupons per 10,000 operations, and you can use them whenever you want. So definitely not at the end of month one. Maybe next month you're running a bit extra, you can use that. Maybe during summer there is, I don't know, high season, so you can use it over there, but it's when you want. Sorry, I was late. Are you going to send us the replay? Yes, we are gonna send the recording. Working day, which time zones? We work in all time zones 24/7, so it doesn't really matter which working days. We have multiple centers that support you in this. Do you have a support contact phone number to contact during USA Eastern time zone? No support contact phone, but you can definitely message us, and there will be someone to answer, because a lot of our customers are in the USA as well, and we have accustomed our customer care accordingly. I find support takes a long time to respond, and that concerns me during migration. And what time zones does support work in? As I mentioned, all of them. There are SLAs depending on which plan are you on and the complexity of the ticket. And there is a whole automation behind this, but you can do it whenever. Do the coupons expire once activated? They do expire at the end of the billing cycle. I'll just pause for a minute and go to Slido. There is one question. When will you stop supporting Integromat? What is your roadmap? At the moment, we don't have a date for supporting Integromat just yet, but we are discussing this internally. It would be best for you to upgrade as soon as possible. We intend to increase functionality and capability on Make, as well as decrease some on Integromat. Aside from all of the benefits, I would recommend to upgrade as soon as possible. Thanks. The topic is great. Well, I thank you as well. First positive comment today. At least after the presentation. I have to change my billing credit card number. It's the end of billing cycle to end and start new service. Will I be able to change my credit card after upgrading to Make? Will I still be able to keep my legacy rates? Awesome question, Darpan. So when you upgrade from Integromat to Make, we are using a different payment provider. You might know them, they're quite big. We use Stripe. And over there, we'll ask you to put in the billing details again, just to be with Stripe. And based on that, you can put any of your credit card numbers, whichever is suited for you. And that is within the period that you get legacy rates. So you'll go there, you have legacy rates, and you put in billing details. Do the coupons expire if not activated? I believe not, but if yes, the minimum would be 1 year. That's like the minimum that I could think of. I would have to look into documentation as well, but I would, yeah. I think 1 year minimum. Could we hear your email again, please? Is it nguyen@make.com? I'm signing up for this, but it's a v.nguyen@make.com. So there is a dot between V and N. That's it on the chat. And there's some Slido. Does the history of scenarios carry across to Make? No, the history of scenarios do not. They remain on Integromat for view only. So you can go there and search for those records, but they will not be migrated to Make. Yes, Eric, that is my email. I advise to use the customer support for this. I don't know how many of you I can answer, as well as they have the best practices. But if there is something that needs some of the help, I'll be willing to direct you the right way. I don't see any more incoming questions over here. Okay, what name will it now show on my credit card? I'm not sure if I'm following. Can you? Oh, this. What name will it show on my credit card? I would have to ask at this very moment what exact name would it show over there. But I think it would be our mother company, Celonis. Any more last questions before we wrap up? Okay, some are still coming in. So I'll start with Slido. I have some scenarios that have legacy models, not upgraded them yet. Will this cause a problem when migrating? I would definitely recommend upgrading them and then migrating to Make, just to be sure. But I don't think it should cause any problems, even if it would stop you somewhere middle to tell you to upgrade all of those in the custom apps. Well, Darpa, do you recommend upgrading the card info before the migration? No, I would recommend you to do it after, because we'll ask you again on Make. If you do it on Integromat, it's on Integromat with PayPal, and on Make, we'll ask you with Stripe. So I would recommend upgrading and then put in the billing details. I'm cleaning up on Integromat and want to delete a connection. It says that this scenario connection is used by one scenario. Can I see which one? I would say this would be in connections. This is very specific. At the very moment, I'm not sure over here. You can contact me on the email. But it should be somewhere within the connections over there. If it's not on Integromat, should show on Make. It should show on Make. Thank you for putting this together. Awesome. I'm really glad. Feeling a lot more confident about the upgrade process now. Awesome. I wanted to show you how it looks like. You'll mostly be all on the fast track, but if not, I wanted you to know how to tackle it. I've answered this and this. Awesome. I hope the sentiment is now a bit better regarding this. We have put a lot of effort to make awesome. And now I want you all guys to experience the same thing. We definitely want to improve on everything that we are doing. Start the upgrade. Is it better to start on Integromat site or on Make? To start the upgrade, you go to make.com, then you go to register, and you put in the same email that you use on Integromat. Whenever next time you want to continue with the upgrade, if you're in the process, you'll just sign in to Make. You'll see the upgrade hub, and yeah, you can finish the rest. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad that you found, at least some of you found this helpful. And we'll be sending the recording afterwards if you need to check something again. Thank you and bye.